Lee Jordan is the most biased announcer that you'll probably.
Oh, hello. Let's all calm down.
Welcome back, witches, wizards, and mugger. Welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles to Squibs Corner. I am Jeremiah.
And I'm Andrew.
And man, it's been a few weeks since we recorded an episode, Mr.
Yes.
Busybody over there. What has been going on? You've been hands deep in plays, right?
Well, other than Thanksgiving, we took a little bit of time off for Thanksgiving, and then I've had my kids and I were in a play in the community theater here, Charlie Brown Christmas musical extravaganza.
Okay.
And it's their first play. They knew that I lived in Hollywood. They knew that I did a bunch of acting in the Southeast, and I did a play a few months ago. They came to see it, and they're like, "Oh man, we got to get in on that. We want to do that." So this is kind of a low-key, not very stressful play. We're not main characters, anything, and so they're just having a blast.
Well, that's good.
Just having a blast.
Yeah, usually I'll send you a message and you're pretty quick to respond, but lately it's been like 2 days later you respond. I'm like, man, he's busy.
Well,
it's all good. I don't care.
I tell you, I do this thing every now and then. Like when I'm super busy, I'll delete all social media off of my phone.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm not getting the Facebook notifications anyway.
Yeah.
Or at this point. So I have it.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Messenger, because you can download the Messenger app, and I put that back on there. And
we need to start using
computer.
our phone numbers.
Yeah. We do have each other's phone numbers.
Yeah, that might be easier. So this week we are doing chapter 11 of the Philosopher's Stone, Quidditch. And before we get much further, we have a surprise coming up for you. But first, we need to do the 7-word summary.
My 7-word summary: Hagrid is so bad at keeping secrets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. That sticks with the whole entirety of the book.
Yes.
So mine is it's lame compared to that. When in doubt, light the robes up.
When in doubt, light the robes up. Yeah, there we go. Yep, I get it.
Yeah, the end of the chapter. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was thinking of the Quidditch uniforms, and I was like, they don't really.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we have a special guest coming on to our episode, and we're going to introduce them. We're going to ask him a couple questions about Harry Potter and have them open up.
I forgot to show my new shirt. Can we see my shirt?
Oh, yeah. Ollivanders. Makers of fine wands.
Yeah, makers of fine wands since 382 BC. Just had to rock it out. My dad, he's so funny. We were at Cracker Barrel having breakfast, and I saw this, and I thought of you. I get it. I dig it. I'm in.
He said it proper like that?
No, he's more country than he's more southern than that. He's more southern. Hey, yeah, we were having breakfast at Cracker Barrel, and I saw it. I thought of you, so I said, "Hey, man, I love it. I'll rock that."
Did you wind up doing that other play? I'm curious with the accent, the British accent that your wife was making fun of you about.
So there were 2 nights that I got the text to be at the theater, and I did not have to either night. And what's so funny is that other characters were dropping like flies, so they're understudies. But the guy that basically had, stroke-like symptoms on stage, he was able to pull out every other performance just fine.
Well, there we go. Here's our guest, Nikki Cardona. Am I saying that right? Nikki Cardona. All right.
Well, who is Nicole Jones?
So it's actually still my legal name. We haven't actually changed it over, and I use Nikki. It's my nickname from all my family knows me as Nikki. So
Commitment issues. I get it.
It's so hard to get everything changed over. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
She doesn't want the Muggles to find her. She's still in hiding. I get it. We're all about it.
Slughorn style. She's about to turn into an armchair.
Jones is my
she's in
maiden
the
name,
Slug
and then
Club.
Cardona is my husband's name. So it's just hard
Nice.
to get mixed up.
Right. So this is Squibs Corner. Welcome. You are our first guest.
Nice. Cool.
Yes, and
This is big stuff.
yeah, it's big stuff. And
big
we're
stuff.
filming this way in advance, so it'll be like 3 months from now when this episode goes up. But I'm super excited. So my first question for you before we have you open up this chapter for us is, what is your Hogwarts house?
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw. Okay, we're all three different. I am a Hufflepuff.
I'm obviously the best house. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm a Gryffindor.
My husband's a Gryffindor, so.
I knew I liked something about you.
Yes.
And it turns out that it's your husband. It all makes sense.
Also, ignore the back. I'm sorry. We're moving, so like everything's like boxes and whatnot.
It did look like you got a little moving action in there. Life is so fun. Nothing like moving during the holidays.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Thankfully, we're moving in, and everything's here. It's just got to be unboxed.
Oh, good,
Yes.
good.
So.
Yeah.
Good.
So my next question would be, how long have you been involved with Harry Potter or liked Harry Potter?
So I grew up with Harry. I was 11 when I first started reading the books, and I read the book 12 when I was 12, or book 2 when I was 12, and so on and so on.
Like, I've not read the 12th book.
I'm sorry.
I've only read 7 of them. She's got me beat.
Well, I mean, there's Quidditch Through the Ages. There's, the Puzzle Beetle Bard. There's all the cookbooks. Look at those.
There you go.
So what is it about Harry Potter? We've kind of discussed it amongst ourselves on the podcast. So what is it about Harry Potter that you think brings the community together the way it is?
So as an underlying current, like, and especially for like millennials, you see a lot of like the government and whatnot, and you can just draw a lot of parallels to what's going on in our own society. And I feel like even more nowadays, that's what kind of keeps us to it. But it's also something that's like, we all just kind of came together, and there's so much friendship. Like, yes, Slytherins and Gryffindors don't get along on principle, but even then, us Ravenclaws and Hufflepuffs have to stick everybody together and be like, we're just gonna be friends now. You gotta deal with it. So
Yeah.
it's just.
I always say like the similarity and the relatability of Harry Potter. It's like you're reading the book, you're watching the movies. Yes, it's magic, but you can imagine all of it happening. It's not too far-fetched. Oh, come on, that would never happen. Andrew, go ahead with your questions.
So you read all the books. Have you gone to any Harry Potter theme parks? Have you been able to experience any of that?
Yes, so I've been to Wizard and World of Harry Potter once. Unfortunately, I didn't get to ride any of the rides due to my own disability, so I wasn't able to stand in any of the lines. But I was able to talk to one of the workers, and they're like, "Here, you can, talk to one of us next time, and we can give you this kind of card that'll get you through the lines easier."
Yeah, I was about to say, if you just go to the for anybody listening, if you go to Universal and you have any sort of anything going on that you can't stand in lines or you can't wait in lines for long periods of time, they will give you a card. They will give you a pass that you show them. Yeah. So you can't be like my mom. We went after she had knee replacement. Oh, yeah. She's like, I can't stand in line. They're like, oh, you get a wheelchair for free.
I wish they'd been able to do that. That would have been great.
So you can still wait in line.
Yeah.
But
oh man,
but,
it's the standing.
But like if you have, it's the. So
talk about loopholes.
A little bit.
Yeah, they're like, here's and I had to push it. That's the worst part. I'm like, you got brand new knees, and now I got to push you around a theme park.
And then
What world are we living in?
I'm in Virginia, so I think it was last year in upper northern Virginia / Maryland border. They did the Forbidden Forest experience, and we went to that. So I was excited to do that.
Oh, very cool.
Still got pictures from that.
Have
Very
you
cool.
been to any of the live orchestra movies?
Oh no, I really wanted to, but just the timing never works out because the farthest, the closest one to me is about 3 hours away in Vienna. So it's like getting there and getting back in the middle of the night and still having to go to work the next day. Because they always schedule them on like a Wednesday
tough.
or Thursday, and it's like I have to get up at 6. So
Yeah, I got one coming up
Not
here
happening.
shortly next month, and it's 3 hours away from me. And this is my second opportunity to go, and I'm still on the fence about it because I just don't want to spend the money.
I would.
But
spend
it's
money,
like, it's like a lifetime experience, and
the money is not
see.
really
Is
a
there- are
thing.
there any near me?
It's just the timing of it all. I'm willing to spend the money for the
Yeah.
experience, but
oh yeah, I think I have to. There was a autograph signing when I lived in a different state, and it was like an hour away, and I chose not to go, and I've regretted it ever since. I think it was Ivana Lynch. She seems to be everywhere.
No, you can't not go to Luna Lovegood.
I know.
No, I'm a huge Luna Lovegood fan because Ravenclaw.
Nobody cares
let me-
about Luna,
let me
really.
show- it's Luna's wand is on my glasses.
What?
Yeah, my
How did you
camera's
do
not.
that?
It's diffeyewear.com, and it's even got the little raven. Of course, the camera's not picking it up very well. And then it says.
Oh, you're gonna have to send me that
Ravenclaw
link. That is
on
that
the
is
side.
amazing. Oh,
Why would it have a
definitely put
raven
that-
on it?
Raven, because the raven is that house. It's not an well, okay. So diff eyewear, yes, okay, okay, yes. If you want to get technical about it, and yes, it pisses me off to no end because not even Universal.
I mean,
sells the
this is a
merch.
book
It
review.
is
We
the
do
book,
get technical
okay.
here.
Unfortunately, diff eyewear did not get the memo, but even my wedding ring is also coded for it. Oh, I've got it. No, I got it the same way. So
that's
it's
awesome.
It's got all 4 houses, and then it's Luna's wand that holds up the the thing, and then her second wand that Ollivander actually made for her is my actual wedding band itself.
He did love Luna very much. I don't want to flex, but my wedding ring is from Dick's Sporting Goods. And it's like my 7th one.
Well, I've also got,
I noticed that it's one of those rubber ones, huh?
they say Harry
Let's see what
Potter.
that says.
Oh man.
Nice.
I've got my
Nice.
whole entire setup is just like Harry Potter. I've got like all the Scentsy wax melts and whatnot. So.
I love it.
I'm just a huge Harry
Okay.
Potter fan.
Okay, so I've got a
so-
question. If
Go
Harry
ahead.
Potter never existed, what would be your number one series, universe, fantasy story?
Oh, Lord have mercy. So there was another sci-fi series that I also started reading around the same time. Now, if you want to go pure sci-fi, it would probably be this one. The series was called Acorna, Acorna, and it was set in space. It was a unicorn girl, alien girl. It was set far into the future. Now, if you want to just talk about fantasy series, I was also a really big Narnia fan, and I was also a very big Series of
Sure.
Unfortunate Events fan. So, but Harry Potter beat everything else.
I really enjoyed Narnia. The ending really upset me, though.
Yeah, I held a grudge against Edward for a very long time.
It's like, wait a second.
Have you read Mistborn?
Mistborn. No, I don't think I have.
Oh man, neither of you have. Okay, you both have to check those books out because they are amazing.
Is it MYS or
I'll have to
MIS?
enjoy it.
MIS, Mistborn, yeah. All right, so I think right now we'll do. What do you think, Andrew? Like a speed round questions. I ask her one, you ask her one, and then
I
we'll
don't
get
have
into
it
the.
prepared. It's like pop quiz style, or just
just quick. Like I'll do one right now. Okay, favorite character,
Luna Lovegood.
Andrew.
Favorite wizarding location?
Honeydukes.
Favorite wand?
Luna's.
Favorite spell?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Basic.
Least favorite spell?
Expelliarmus.
If there is such a thing.
Expelliarmus. It's overly used.
Is it okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Why is it your least? Yes. Most upset you became at a scene that was changed in the movies from the book.
There was no peeves.
Oh, yes. Oh, gosh. Yes.
Okay.
It pissed me off to no end.
I can get behind that.
Okay. All right. Worst movie?
2. I hated the car scene. Was just, they could have done that so much better. Honestly, the rest of the movie was okay, but the car scene with them falling out of the Ford Angelina was just, it pissed me off so bad.
I would say the Goblet of Fire.
That's my
whole
favorite.
Entire...
It's actually my
Really?
favorite. That the hair was so relatable.
Well, this is in the, if you're comparing it to the books.
Okay, if you're
So,
comparing it to
the Goblet
books,
of Fire almost has little to do with the book.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
If you want to talk about the
Well, it was
Yule
such a
Ball,
long
that pisses
book.
you off too.
oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was such a long book, and then they and I would say that that's one. We'll talk about this in a side quest on another episode. Might be one redemptive quality of the HBO series.
There's also the HBO series. I don't even plan on watching that.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Alan Rickman is
Okay,
my
well-
Snape, and I want that on a T-shirt.
Okay, we'll get 2 more fire questions. Who is your least favorite character, and why is it Umbridge?
Because I absolutely love Pink, and I feel like she might have ruined it almost for me. I am a huge Pink fan.
I get it.
Okay.
Plus, I have cats, or a cat anyway. So,
Favorite book and why?
would have to be the Goblet of Fire, actually.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a good book, yes.
that's a good book.
I feel it was the first time that Hermione was ever brought up of Hermione as a girl. And again, I grew up reading it, so I was 14.
we knew that from the first.
Well, yes, but as Ron's realizing that she's a girl in that,
Yes.
but I was also 14 when they were 14 in the books, and so it's like dating, and it's like, oh, hey, dating, and it's like,
Yeah.
so it's just very relatable.
I love Goblet of Fire, and I hate Goblet of Fire because you have an undercover Death Eater that teaches Harry so much.
You have to kind of go back and reread the entire book with that light.
Once you read it a second time, I mean, really, once you read all of the books the second time, but once you read that book the second time, it's like, bro, you didn't need to wait till the end of the school year. You could have. I mean, like, because Barty Crouch Jr. is a powerful wizard.
Yeah, there were so many times.
And Voldemort said so.
Yeah.
Voldemort said so. So the fact that he like guides Harry and teaches him magic and how to withstand
this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like why
give him a fighting chance against your
yeah.
lord?
So that whole thing just kind of like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I also kind of wanted to point it out. I see you're wearing Hufflepuff and you're wearing an Ollivander shirt. I'm wearing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's how awesome we
I
are.
also got Harry's somewhere. I can't find it, but.
I love it.
All right, so my last question would be, what is your honest opinion of Harry Potter himself? Do you think he's portrayed as a smart guy, nice guy?
He is
kind of a...
So you would kind of have to go to the fan fictions for this one, but he's considered a your name, I would almost say. He is the most nondescript character. He is someone anybody could put themselves in the shoes of. And honestly, that's also a big reason why everybody loves Harry Potter so much. Is you can project your own self.
It's great for the main protagonist.
It's because he has no real outstanding qualities. Unfortunately, no one's favorite character is Harry Potter. Because he has...
hello, let's all calm down. Harry's my guy through and through.
He's a good... not Half-Blood Prince, in the... My brain is blanking on me. In the...
There's a lot of pressure on this podcast,
Think. Do it now.
Say it.
Child, he was a better character, and he showed.
That's not canon. Nobody cares about it.
So, believe it or not, I theorized back when they're back at Goblet of Fire. I remember thinking, I would almost guarantee that Voldemort is going to have a child, but I theorized he would have a child with a Vila. Never did I theorize that he would have a child with Bellatrix. And so when the cursed child came out, I'm just like, yeah, of course that's going to happen.
100%.
She stole my idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% with Bellatrix.
All right, Andrew, I think you got one more.
Do I have one more question?
I think so. Do you? Come on.
I really can't think of any questions off the top of my head. But maybe as we go on, I'll think of one. There's so much.
I'll take your last question then.
I accept.
So, going to the movies, we have that scene, the introduction scene with Ollivander, and he references Voldemort, or He Who Must Not Be Named. What is your opinion on that scene, and in turn, He Who Must Not Be Named, as a character throughout the book, the way he's portrayed, and the way he carries out the character in the movies as well?
So I think he was probably one of the stronger characters, at least the way he was portrayed. The actor did a great job of portraying him, because he was just...
Ralph Fiennes is an amazing, so amazing.
I mean, he's just there behind the scenes, and he's such a background character in the first book, and then you never see him again until he's in the dungeon, and it's like, wait, what did Voldemort do? Why is he going back and getting this, this seemingly random person? And it's just like a wait moment, and then it shows up more, and you learn more of the lore behind the Elder Wand and whatnot. And I think it was just a really great callback to it. But honestly, gotta love Ollivander.
That's honestly some of the things that you're saying is why the 7th book is my favorite. She just goes so deep into.
Yeah. We got so much lore in the 7th book, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it was can I get more, please?
I was all about it. And my cousin, who's a huge Harry Potter fan, he's like, I hate book 7. It's just them walking around in the wilderness for half the book.
So I finished book 7 in 12 hours.
It took me 2 years to read all the books.
No.
That's why I love audiobooks.
I sat down and I read book 7 from cover to cover in 12 hours.
Jeez.
It's a good book.
Yeah, it is. All right, so, man, we could talk all day, honestly.
We really could.
I am having a blast with this, but we got to get on with our book review, so we're going to have you go ahead and open us up with this first paragraph here.
Okie dokie. As they entered November, the weather turned very cold. The mountains around the school became icy gray, and the lake like chilled steel. Every morning the ground was covered in frost. Hagrid could be seen from the upstairs windows defrosting broomsticks on the Quidditch field, bundled up in a long moleskin overcoat, rabbit fur gloves, and an enormous beaverskin boots.
I'm glad you read that like we were at a funeral. I'm glad, we're about to watch some Quidditch happen, and you're like, and the scene. A dreary cold Scotland.
Okay, for reference, Andrew here is an actor. So
I do a voice acting for a YouTube series. So
there you go. Yeah, you could tell, she breathed out, And then she went into her as they entered November. Death and dead bodies strewn all about them. The weather turned very...
It's a cheery morning.
It's so true, so true. I love it.
Well, thank you for being our first
Thank
guest.
you for
This was a
inviting me.
blast.
I had so much fun.
Oh yeah, if you ever want to do a review episode with us, just let us know,
Oh, please.
and I think we
Please
can
just
knock it out of
contact
the park.
me. I'm free anytime.
Oh
we go.
yes, yes. Okay. Thank you for being on this.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Nice
Or
meeting you,
night.
Nikki. Have a
Bye.
good night.
Oh, that was awesome. That was
Fun.
that was a
fun.
lot funner than I thought it would be. Holy crap! Oh, we could have talked forever. That went on a long time. All right, so let's recap what happened in the last episode,
Yeah.
titled Halloween. For
Halloween.
no apparent reason.
Yeah, Halloween. The events took place on Halloween. And kind of
or so.
the
So they say.
you know, yeah. We get, Harry learns how to fly. He's a natural at flying. Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they've got tension. Ron, even more so, doesn't like Hermione. And then during the Halloween feast, Professor Quirrell runs in and says, there's a troll in the dungeon. And everyone loses their mind. They have to escape. And obviously, as you'll remember, Harry and Ron have to save Hermione in the girls' bathroom as they locked the troll in there with her. And I still love the line. I love the line at the very last line. There are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other. And knocking out a 12-foot mountain troll is one of them.
Yeah.
That's so good. So as
Once in a lifetime
Nikki,
experience.
yes, so as Nikki so cheerfully read to us, we're at the beginning of November. Hagrid's out defrosting the brooms and the Quidditch field. And all
So
that jazz.
that's before we get farther. The fact that she included something like that I guarantee nobody would think about. Nobody would wonder. I wonder if they have to defrost the brooms. The fact that that's added in there, amazing. Love it.
She's just feeding on. He's doing his groundskeeping.
Defrosting the brooms.
He's defrosting. So, the Quidditch season is about to start, and this is the week Harry has his first Quidditch game on Saturday, and of course, it had to be against Slytherin. And Oliver Wood, if you remember, he tried to keep it secret. Harry was going to be their secret weapon, and as we learn over and over and over again at Hogwarts, secrets spread like wildfire.
It's just
and
like
so
in
now-
any school, really.
Any school. So now he's got to deal with the pressure of everybody knowing. And Hermione, now that they're friends, is helping him with his homework, and he's got extra Quidditch training and all that jazz. And what I love is like we can never ask to copy the homework, but if we ask her to read over the homework, she's
pretty
gonna,
much winds up doing it
she's
for
gonna she's gonna correct it. And so during this time, Hermione lends Harry a book called Quidditch Through the Ages.
Yeah,
Which-
Nikki had actually mentioned that.
Yeah, she mentioned that. I was like, oh, we're about to talk about that a little bit.
You know, I actually tried to read that book, but it's like reading a history book.
It's like a
And-
history book.
Yeah, it's very hard for me to get interested in it, which it's terrible to say, but you know, it's one of those things I kept in my center console in my car. So if I ever got bored enough, I just pull it out and start reading.
Yeah.
I never finished it, but I did listen to the audiobook of it. So there's that.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so
Something's better than nothing.
that's true. That is true. All right, so I've got a trivia question for you.
Let me
little-
find it. Let me. Oh.
Harry learns a bit of information whilst perusing Quidditch Through the Ages, and he learns how many ways there are to commit a foul in Quidditch. How many, for 5 points to Hufflepuff, if you can tell me how many ways there are to commit a foul in Quidditch?
I just listened to this chapter too. I don't know, but I have a feeling it's a ridiculous number.
Okay. We're all waiting to hear what your
72.
magical guess is. You were so close. If you multiply that by 10 and subtract 20, you're spot on.
So 700.
700 ways to commit a foul.
Oh man,
And all 700 ways to commit a foul were committed in the same match in a World Cup match in 1473.
yeah,
We learned that. So 700 ways to commit a foul. And he also learns that seekers are the smallest one, and usually all of the fouls are mostly committed against seekers.
Talk about getting technical, right? Like, I'm sure with many sports, there's a plethora of ways to make a foul, and
well, they change the rules every year. Every professional league changes slight rules every year because something new comes up, something we've not seen before comes up, and I say we, I'm in these board meetings. I'm very important. But yeah, there's so many ways.
Yeah. So
which tells us that since 1473, the number 700 has stayed consistent. So we've established this for centuries.
Well, it's still got the number 7 in there, so I wonder if that was a coincidence or not.
700 fouls, 7 players. Come on now.
Yeah. So Hermione seems a little bit more relaxed about the rule breaking since Harry and Ron saved her from the troll, which was nice for the boys.
Yes.
They were outside one day, and Hermione had conjured a blue flame in a jar, which she becomes really good at that. I think that's like her magic trick cat.
And she's a first year.
Yeah, her magic hat trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if she started practicing magic before she even went to Hogwarts. I mean, I wonder how long did she have her wand before? Did she get her wand and go straight to Hogwarts?
Well, I assume, I assume that in their letter, or when people, like we talked about this in previous episodes, somebody from the school goes to Muggles, right? And they have to say no magic outside of school. Number one, you could hurt yourself, you could hurt others, but we've got this whole secrecy thing going on. We really don't want you to ruin that for us.
Yeah, Hermione,
but she's good.
She would have listened. Yeah, she wouldn't have. She's just smart.
And it's not just a fire. It's a fire that she can hold in her hands.
Yeah.
And she puts it in a jar. Like there's
it's
no
in one
no
of
fuel.
my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
I think it's in one of the Deathly Hallows. It was specifically in the movie. Harry comes back. He doesn't have a wand. Ron hands him a wand. There's that fire right in front of him, and Harry goes to see how the wand works. And Gorgio! do so!
Yes.
It's one of my favorite scenes. That and when Harry's going to go see Hagrid, and Professor Slughorn's right there, and Harry! Sir!
Misunderstood. I think it's the pincers.
Well, anyways, so Hermione has that blue fire in a jar. They're sitting outside. They're trying to warm up. Who happens to walk by? Not Draco. Snape. Of course.
And he wasn't just walking. He wasn't just walking by.
Oh, yeah, he was limping by.
My man was limping. Curious. Yeah, very curious.
He didn't see the fire, but he saw Harry had Quidditch through the ages and took 5 points from Gryffindor for having a library book outside, which Harry's pretty sure he just made that up.
Yeah. Freaking Snape.
Makes sense. Later that night, Harry felt restless in the common room while Hermione was checking over his and Ron's charms work, I say that with quotation marks for those of
That's
you
right.
that can see me while you're audibly listening to this. He wanted Quidditch Through the Ages back and to take his mind off the upcoming match. He decided that he'd go to the staff room and ask for the book in front of other teachers. Okay. So that Snape wouldn't refuse to give the book back. There's witnesses there. So
Makes sense. Ron says not a chance. And Harry's
Ron's
like, I don't
very
care.
wise. Ron's very
Yeah.
wise.
But it is a smart thing. It's like, if he's by himself, the answer is no. But if other professors are there, he'll probably give it. But I get it. I can follow along.
Again, relatable. This isn't something you go, no. This is something
Relatable.
people listening to this have probably done. So he knocks on the staff room door, but no one answered. So he knocked again, and nothing there. So he decides to look inside and see if Snape left the book there, because he's, 12 at this? No, he's 11 right now.
He's
So,
11, which is a
of course,
bold move.
Which depending on my mood, I may or may not do the same thing at my age.
Sure. Yeah, you knocked. You want the book. I get it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Harry, there were people inside the staff room. Snape and Filch were by themselves, and Snape was sitting down, and he had his robe pulled up, and Harry sees this bloody, mangled leg.
So Snape and Filch right there, the last two people you'd want to see. Throw Draco in there and we're running away.
Yeah.
I mean, what a sight.
So Filch is handing Snape bandages, and then, outraged, we hear Snape yell, "How are you supposed to get your eyes on all three heads at once?" Well, obviously, Harry knows exactly what he's talking about. Yeah. So Harry tries to, slowly back out and close the door. And, of course, Snape sees him. Yeah, the loudest squeak, right? So Snape sees him, calls out Potter, so upset that Harry's there, yells for him to get out. So Harry runs back to the common room, tells Ron and Hermione what he saw and what he heard. So Ron jumps to the conclusion that Snape tried to get past the three-headed dog in an effort to get the thing that it's guarding, things that they've put together through the previous chapters. And he thinks that Snape was the one that let the troll in. So our lovely Hermione tries to be the voice of reason. But it was a lot for Harry to take in. It was hard for him to sleep that night, all with what he saw with Snape and Filch. And he's got a big Quidditch game in the morning. So wakes up, and we've all been there. You're so nervous about something that even thinking about eating is an immediate no.
No. I can't relate. Sorry.
So I've been in that situation before.
No,
And so
a lot of people
I
get
it.
They get the cold and they're like, "Oh man, I lost 5 pounds because I was sick." It's like, really, I gain weight when I'm sick. So you should just stop talking. Even when I can barely swallow, it doesn't make a difference. I'm still going to gain weight.
Yeah, I'm sure Ron was like, "What? You don't want to eat right now? That makes absolutely no sense." You're reaching over, taking Harry's plate.
That's a thing that happens. That's not a thing that happens.
buddy. So it's a Saturday. Done with breakfast. Head out to the pitch. So by 11 o'clock, the entire school is already in the stands, and we learned that the stands for Quidditch are up in the air, and people will use binoculars to follow what's going on. So Harry and the Gryffindor Quidditch team, they're in the locker room. I love how Wood is ready to give his speech, and the Weasley twins start saying it for him, and they're like,
I love it.
"We were here. We were on the team last year. Yeah, this is his speech." Yes. And then Wood is like, "Guys, we got to win this. This is the best team Gryffindor's had in a long time, maybe ever. We're gonna win. You're gonna win this. You're gonna die trying, basically." Yeah. So Wood marches out. They leave the locker room. Harry, again, it feels like his knees are gonna buckle, walking out there. And as he walks out onto the pitch, you can just imagine everybody, how excited everyone was during the Sorting Hat Now to see Harry Potter about to play the wizard sport, and is
one of the youngest seeker in a century?
100 years. Yeah. So it goes out to just massive applause and cheers. Boom. The stage is set.
Yeah. So one thing I want to clear up. Last chapter, I had said I had an issue with the title of this chapter, but I don't. I really don't. Most of the chapter is about Quidditch, so the title fits. So I like Quidditch. It's like a extremely modified football field, sort of. Would you say football or
sure,
soccer?
I mean, you've got to... Well, and here's the thing. In soccer or football, I don't care where you're listening to this, but in soccer, as you go through the age, learning soccer and even practice drills, 7-on-7 soccer is a real thing. And you do have a keeper. No, you don't have chasers or seekers, but you've got midfield and strikers, and so it's you can definitely draw the similarities to it. But she does a great at making it its own thing.
Yeah. So Madam Hooch is refereeing. She is the brooms teacher. Is
flying instructor.
Flying instructor.
Sure. I don't think she would like being called the brooms teacher.
Brooms teacher.
She's the brooms teacher. Like, I do so much more than that around here. I'd refuse to be the brooms teacher.
So she calls for a calm and fair match. Okay, we're starting a boxing match right now. Mount your brooms, please. A loud blast from the whistle, and the match has begun. Lee Jordan, which he's the one that comes back in the Hogwarts House Tournament. Is that what it was called? That TV show that they aired for, I think, 2 seasons.
Oh, I never watched that.
Oh, really? He was actually in the corner, and he'd open up a little door and pop his head out and start talking.
Oh, nice. He played his part to perfection.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, as far as minor characters go, he was perfect.
Oh, yeah. He gives us a play-by-play of what's going on with the match. Gryffindor is the first to score. When the chaser Angelina Johnson scores, the crowd goes wild. Then Hagrid shows up in the stands, making his way over to Ron and Hermione, which is probably no easy feat. Harry was flying high above the game, a tactic that Oliver wanted him to do so that he could stay out of the way and not get attacked, so he can focus solely on looking for the snitch, which, it's kind of like...
Yeah, stay out of the way.
I could relate it to football. I mean, you want to throw the ball, and you want to get out of the way so that you don't get hurt. So,
Sure.
Yeah. So Harry then sees the snitch. As it flies past a Slytherin player, he goes into a dive, outpacing a Slytherin seeker, almost to the snitch before being fouled intentionally by the Slytherin captain, Marcus Flint. Absolute mayhem, students crying foul. Dean Thomas wanted him sent off with a red card. And
I love people are like, a red card? He's like, oh, well, it's a thing in soccer. And Hagrid's like, you know what? I think they should do that. They should change the rules. They should. He's like, don't do that to Harry.
Lee Jordan was going crazy. So Lee Jordan is the most biased announcer that you'll probably ever hear. And McGonagall is always, Lee, hey.
Yes.
It's great. I love it.
His bias is anyone but Slytherin.
Yeah.
If Slytherin's playing, he is...
Yeah, he likes a fair, clean match, too. Like, he
Yes. Yeah, there was one year where the Ravenclaw, Zachariah Smith, is that who it was? Of course, maybe Luna was calling that game. I can't remember. Anyway.
Oh, that's right.
We'll get into... See, I got to go deep into my Harry Potter caverns here.
So Lee Jordan was going crazy. A free shot at the goal was awarded, but the snitch was lost. Now, real quick before we go on. So, you're playing Quidditch, and there's a chance, and it does happen, that people can fall off their brooms and hit the ground. So, why isn't Arresto Memento used more? And why don't they have a net down on the field? Like, I know they start the match on the ground, they're talking, and then they go up. But you could easily erect a net, especially, magic. And that way they fall into the net and they don't get hurt.
I've thought about this before because in the movie, so in the book, it doesn't say that Dumbledore is there. But you do have Madam Hooch, who is the referee. You'd think that she would have some sort of protocol for, she's watching the match. If people fall, then she could do something. But
easily stop, not go, oh no!
Yeah.
If only I had a wand.
Yeah, so it's, that's a good question. But it's almost like, when you have the magic to heal people, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. I can't remember. Did some of the scenes in the movie? I know there was grass, but don't some of them land in sand at one point?
I'm pretty sure there's mud.
I can't
and
remember.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that was
Something
kind of
like
my
that.
thing. Yeah, that's a good question, though.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like you would have a lot more safety protocol around such a dangerous game, really. But, it is what it is. And we can see what happens.
Yeah, so utter mayhem. Gryffindor gets a free shot. They make it, but the snitch is lost. The game resumes, and Harry, for the first time, has to dodge a bludger. So he kind of shoots out of the way, but as he dodges the bludger...
You could dodge a ball.
Dip, dive, dodge, duck, dodge. So as he dodges the bludger, he realizes that his broom gives a sudden and frightening lurch, which is obviously not supposed to happen, and he almost falls off the broom. Well, then it happens again. So he's like, oh, man, I got to turn towards Oliver Wood. Maybe I can get to him. We can call a timeout. But now he's completely out of control of his broom. Couldn't control anything, and it's zigging, zagging, almost like it's trying to buck him off. It's getting higher and higher. So he's getting farther and farther away. All of this while the Quidditch match is going on. Lee Jordan is still commentating the match while this is happening. Well, then finally they realize that Harry is on this bucking bronco of a broom. And, J.K. Rowling would have been so proud of my alliteration just now. The bucking bronco broom. Snape spat. And they realize there's something wrong.
The broom lady wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, the brooms instructor, not happy at all. Not happy at all. You do not give nicknames to a Nimbus 2000. I mean, it's the greatest. But now the broom is rolling end over end. It's rolling over and over, and he is... at this point, hanging from the broom, barely hanging on. And Hagrid, who notices this as well, he says something that was very important. He goes, can't nothing interfere with a broomstick except powerful dark magic. No kid could do that to a Nimbus 2000. Which is like, oh, now we're talking about dark magic here. So, sure, a broom in the, or a troll in the castle, not dark magic. A three-headed dog guarding something, not dark magic. The only thing that we've known up to this point that's affiliated with dark magic is Voldemort. Yeah, it's Voldemort. And now Hagrid is like, oh, nothing can interfere with a broomstick except dark magic. You're like, as the reader, you're like, oh, dang. That's serious.
So first of all, I tried to look up the incantation. That it's unknown. And second of all, this pops up again. Something bad is happening. It's Dark Wizards.
Yes.
So,
Dark Wizards. Dark Wizards or Witches unknown.
Yeah. So I am curious to know what that spell is. Maybe one day somebody will make something up. Luckily, Hermione was quick on her feet. While everyone else was looking up at Harry, she began to scan the stands. She found Snape and saw that he was muttering nonstop under his breath while looking directly at Harry. So Hermione believes he's jinxing Harry's broom. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Sure, I'll buy it.
Yeah. She disappears and makes her way over to Snape while Harry is barely hanging on to his broom. I would be so scared right now if I were Harry.
Oh my gosh.
Not even the Weasley twins could get close enough to pull Harry off his broom. It kept jerking away from them, and I believe the twins had almost abandoned the game. They completely stopped paying attention, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they were just circling underneath. Just about everybody had abandoned the game, except for Marcus Flint. But the twins just started flying around underneath him in case they needed to try to catch him.
Yeah, Marcus Flint scored 5 times while everyone is concerned for Harry. Hermione finally makes her way to Snape, accidentally knocking Professor Quirrell headfirst into the front row, or into the row in front of him. Could have been the front row. Oh.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been a really
that would have
hefty
been a
knock.
big Hermione coming in with the forearm shiver, like, get out of here, Quirrell.
I didn't know you were a defensive tackle, Hermione. When she got to Snape, bright blue flames shot into his robes. Like I said, it's her hat trick. It took 30 seconds for him to notice that he was on fire. She then took the fire back, put it in a jar, and ran away, Snape never knowing what had happened. So this right here...
That's another example of I'd like her to come back and rewrite this.
Well,
your robes are on fire.
And it took you 30 seconds to notice.
And it's going to take you half a minute
exactly.
to notice. And then she's going to take the fire back, and Snape's will be like, what just happened?
But that's... So, assuming most people have watched the book, they know everything about Harry Potter, should we deep dive into this right now and explain exactly what's going on? Because
yes. Knowing who the villain is of this book, I'll still try to be nondescript. Harry should have already had control of his broom, right? Mm-hmm. But when she writes this, she's, once Snape, 30 seconds later, Snape falls back, she gets it, runs, and now Harry can use his broom. And it's like,
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, so it's little details like that are frustrating. Frustrating the second go-round, not the first go-round. The first go-round, you don't know what's going on. It's totally like, yeah, okay, cool. But then once you read it the second time, you're like, but it wasn't Snape.
Yeah.
So
he was muttering the counter curse.
Yeah, he was muttering the counter curse. So Harry should have already had it.
There's a chance that it
maybe took some time for the spell to wear off. Sure, and that's definitely something that could be plausible.
And the other person being a dark wizard could maybe Snape's incantation, the counter jinx or counter curse or whatever you want to call it. Maybe it just could have been doing nothing.
Well, and the question is that I've thought before, we don't know if Quirrell is a powerful wizard.
We don't really know anything.
We just know that he is a wizard.
Yeah.
So is he using his own power? Yeah. Because at this point we can assume
so that would make sense why Snape's incantations didn't work.
Right.
And
so
why
we can
the curse kept working
yeah.
after he was knocked over.
Yes. So my assumption is, from what we learn about Hagrid finding the unicorns injured in chapters that we'll talk about upcoming, we have to assume that he has power, right? He's got strength back by this point. And that's why, because Snape, we do know that Snape is a powerful wizard.
Yeah.
We do Snape, and I'll say it now, and I'll say it many, many times. Snape's death was disappointing.
There was a lot of disappointing
I'll
things.
say it now. I would have loved a Snape versus Voldemort. I don't mind that Snape dies.
Ooh.
But I would have loved
that would have been a way better way
to my gosh.
tie it all together.
Because here's the thing. Snape is doing what he's doing because he trusted Voldemort not to kill Lily. Right?
Yeah.
And he's been doing this. He pledged his allegiance to Dumbledore and has been a spy for 17 years, 16 years. And now Voldemort's just going to be like, yeah, man, I gotta kill you. And Snape.
I mean, he does say he doesn't have friends, so.
Well, no, I get it, but I just don't see, like, if you. Let's do a lot.
At that point, he who must not be named was panicking.
Yeah, but Snape had every reason to fight back, knowing that Harry's the one that needed to kill him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, and the fact that he still needed to tell Harry all of his plans. It is just serendipitous that the Golden Trio show up as Snape is dying, and he's able to give him the memories. So for Snape to just allow Voldemort to kill him is like I don't buy it. No, Snape. Number one, you killed the love of his life. Number two, we've got too many plans that Harry needs to know about for me to go out like this, for it to just happen like that.
I feel as if.
That's all I'm going to say.
I feel it. Yeah, I'll say this and we'll move forward. But I feel as if Snape knew what was going to happen. He knew his fate, which he was. He started acting a little bit more somber. I think he kind of.
Well, I think he understood that it was definitely a possibility, the position that he was in, that it could.
I'm sure him and Dumbledore talked about it to nausea.
Yeah,
what could have happened? What probably.
But for it to happen that way again,
the way it did,
I don't mind in the story that Voldemort kills Snape. I do mind that as powerful as Snape is, that he didn't even. He just kind of was like, "What do you mean? I'm just gonna watch the snake slither to me." And no,
yeah.
Nah, I'm out on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So back to it. Thanks to our lovely Hermione. Our brains could have been in Ravenclaw, but she's a Gryffindor Hermione. Harry can climb back onto his broom. He's got control of his broom. And then, like, immediately, he starts speeding towards the ground. And as he gets close to the ground, he claps his hand over his mouth, falls to the floor, gets on all fours, coughs. Out comes the golden snitch. He's won. The game is over. And here's one thing that I think is funny about book one compared to the other books. You know, a lot of the, you know, remember at first, I can't remember if it's Snape or McGonagall. Snape takes like 1 point from Gryffindor. And it's like, oh, we're used to them taking 10 points, 20 points from Gryffindor. And so this is another one where, so we saw that Marcus Flint scored 5 straight goals while everybody is concerned about Harry. And the total, and when you catch the snitch is worth 150 points. So the final score is 170 points to 60. So if the whole thing never would have happened with Snape or with Harry, only 3 legitimate goals were scored. When in later books, you know, they're scoring like crazy. Anyway, that's just a little funny thing. Yeah. So now game is over. Fast forward, they're sitting in Hagrid's hut. They're having tea. He's preparing tea, and Ron tells Harry, like, "Yo, it was Snape. Snape was jinxing. He was hexing your broom." And Hagrid's like, "Stop it. That's rubbish." Yeah. Dumbledore trusts Dumbledore. Why would a teacher do that? And then Harry tells Hagrid that he saw Professor Snape injured after trying to get past the 3-headed dog. And here's our lovable Hagrid. He asks, "How do you know about Fluffy?" And they're like, "Fluffy? You call that dog Fluffy?" Like, you got a dog named Fang, who we learned is afraid of everything. And now you've got a 3-headed dog that you've called Fluffy.
Who tries to kill anybody that comes near him.
Yeah, and so Hagrid admits that Fluffy belongs to him and that he got him off a Greek chappie And I think, did we mention this in the previous episode? The Greek chappy thing in Greek mythology, a 3-headed dog guards the underworld, guards Hades' underworld. So the fact that there's a 3-headed dog in Harry Potter and he got him from a Greek guy is like a little, it's a kind of a fun little nod to Greek mythology.
That's a nice time. Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so Hagrid and the three of them kind of go back and forth about whether Snape's a good guy, bad guy, whatever Fluffy is guarding. And Hagrid gets a little upset with them. Usually he's a little like, oh, God, you don't do that. He gets mad. He tells him to stop meddling in, the business that doesn't concern him. It's not your business. It's dangerous. And then he goes, whatever Fluffy's guarding, that's between Professor Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel.
Again, go.
Poor Hagrid.
Go watch Fantastic Beasts. I'm telling you, I don't know the exact reason why you haven't watched them. I know they're not Harry Potter, but Nicholas Flamel is in there.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you the answer right now. I know that I will watch these films and I will not feel the same way that I felt reading the Harry Potter books and watching those films.
Well, yeah,
That's
the feeling's different. It's still awesome, though.
Sure.
Especially to see Grindelwald, the actor playing Grindelwald, the whole big thing behind that. Unfortunately,
I will also say this: having gone through chiropractic school, I've run multiple practices. I own my own practice. I've got a wife. I've got 3 kids. I've got the play. I have so many things going. In 1 year, I probably watch a dozen films or less.
No, I believe it.
Or, I'm sorry, a dozen films or fewer.
That's why when we started back up with this podcast, I had so much free time. And then we did the podcast. We booted it back up, and I was like, oh, I forgot how much time this takes.
Yeah.
An immense amount of time on my end, at least. Anyways, let's get into our final thoughts here. I don't think I'll ever get tired of this music. I just don't.
It fits so well. The music fits so well.
All right. So, overall thoughts about the chapter, Andrew?
Are you asking me? You're asking me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was ready for it. I was like, okay. So, so as a first-time reader, love everything about it.
Yeah, it's a good chapter.
Right, you love everything about it.
Yes.
You've got Quidditch and the excitement of Quidditch. You've got Snape, who we hate already, and now he's got a bloody leg and admits that it's bloody because of the 3-headed dog.
Yeah, the plot is really thickening.
The plot is really thickening here. And then you've got somebody tried to harm Harry.
Yeah.
At Hogwarts. That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
Somebody tries to harm Harry at Hogwarts, and now you leave on this bombshell. Now we're trying. Now the Golden Trio, they're trying so hard to figure out, what could it be? Why are we guarding it? And then Nicholas Flamel.
Yeah. So I just thought of something. So somebody tried to jinx Harry's broom. Obviously, it never got looked into. This is the last we hear about this.
That's true.
Yeah. Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
That's true.
Never thought about that. But yeah, no, I'm on the same page. Great chapter. I was coming into it thinking it only had like a couple pages about Quidditch. Whole chapter was about Quidditch. Everything got tied in really good. The setup for the plot thickening was better. And
she even does a good job with her commentary of Quidditch in showing how, like, Lee Jordan is very fast paced. Oh, she dropped the quaffle. Oh, now he's got it. Oh, and the keeper dives. It's like she did a good job doing those details of calling the game of how hectic and fast paced Quidditch is.
Yeah. And I had mentioned before about how Harry Potter grabs your attention immediately. So I'm reading this new series from Sarah J. Maas, and I'm 7 chapters in, and it's still kind of setting up the story, still introducing things. And I'm like, I'm going to try to stick because I know it'll pick up, but I'm like, this is what Harry Potter does. It grabs you. You're in. They don't dance around what's happening. You're in. Okay. All right. So we got it. We got to end it. So that was chapter 11, Quidditch. Join us next time for chapter 12, The Mirror of Erised. Is it Erised or Erised?
I think because Jim Dale does Erised, I'm
team Erised.
I'm cool with it.
So thank you guys for listening. Andrew, go ahead and sign us out.
I'm going to leave you with a quote from one of my favorite minor characters. The wand chooses the wizard.
Oh, beautiful.
Squibs Corner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobaugh and co-hosted by Andrew Beecham, myself. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review. To inquire about being a guest, or if you have questions, comments, or just want to give us your Harry Potter story, email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow Jeremiah's YouTube, Accio Potter Guy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo and follow us on Instagram at Squibs Corner Podcast.